10th of November. I'm presenting this topic on what is social marketing. A lot of us now use social marketing for our work as well as promoting our image and social profile. And the terminology of social marketing at times is also confused with digital marketing or just a general e-marketing. So this purpose of doing the presentation is to actually specifically explain what social marketing is. Let me go in. Okay, now you can see a profile in a social connect, especially important thing about social marketing is about your profile. So Julia, she is a human resource person. She is known in the circle of friends as a opportunity for job because she is in the human resource expertise. So specific the specialty or area in her professional work, and also for her to promote her expertise in getting the right job or career as a advisor for the career. So she will portray her image and also her professional exposure in the field of human resource, and then this is in fact her product. In fact, if you look at it, it's like she is selling herself as a product in the profile of human resource expert. So social marketing, the basis of it is actually the person's profile. So if you are doing social marketing, it has to be a personal profile or the company profile, which is in the social circle. So this is basically how social marketing came about, because it is through a personal profile or a company profile that it draws attraction and also maybe eventually a revenue for the enterprise. Right, definition from Wikipedia says that the social media marketing or social media website platforms being used to promote a product or a service. So although the term is usually interchangeable with digital marketing or e-marketing, but social media marketing is more of a person's profile. So most social media platforms have built in also analytics. So if a profile is a human resource, then the built-in analytics will draw the types of traffic. That means to analyze the traffic of this profile being visited by the general public. So therefore you will be able to analyze that maybe for Julia, her profile is a human resource, so therefore the analytics will show that most people visits her or follow her would be job seekers or people who are in the same line of work. So in the aspect of this particular definition from Wikipedia, companies usually address a range of users, stakeholders through the social media, which actually becomes the medium of communication. So if it's a company that deals with the public, then they will need to know what the public thinks about in their products, as well as the feedback from the public. Another thing is that on the strategic level, because the part of marketing is basically to achieve what the objective of the corporation. So the social marketing strategy would be thinking of how to gather public responses and also public's viewpoint to achieve the objective of the corporation. So of course there can be reasons of culture and also the types of stigma that is in the community that the corporation is promoting to. So of course in certain country, some fast food chain need to in fact use local tests. So therefore the social media marketing will be able to gather the responses, the feedback mass public on what are the responses to their recipe lah. So when using social media marketing, there is an interaction. Basically, user-generated content, meaning to say feedback and comments, and also product reviews. So therefore, it earns the bit of feedback to what the company could do to address issues. Sometimes the social media marketing can be used for responding to a complaint. For example, some group of people has suddenly found some defect of a product, so then the social media marketing can actually work on the platform to address those issues. So social media marketing agencies is a group of people who actually specialize on this form of marketing. That means they do this type of marketing as a livelihood. So the service provider of this type of approach to get social media is in fact specialized now. The outreach will be usually by having a own website or Facebook page, or having a higher chance of being Google search. The Google search system to appear in the Google search. So if you are a estate agent, you will prefer that you have a high chance of being searched, especially your property being searched, or in fact your company name or your personal name as an estate agent being searched, appearing in the Google search. So anyway, the likelihood to start for social media marketing, in fact through some experiences that I have with Facebook and also my own website, is actually to give things which are free. So free education, free information becomes the start of attracting audience to your social media. So whether it's digital marketing or this Facebook marketing, giving information free would be the starting point to attract your audience. After that, then your future needs of the social media platform would need a bit of in-depth, in a way, your in-depth search of what do you actually want to do, and then most importantly, the content of the so-called media reach so should be very clear. That means why are you doing this social media platform? Let's say why are you having the Facebook page for your agency or your company? So there must be some thoughts being given for the content, so that there can be a segment of the audience that you can target, and definitely to improve engagement of the audience, and then the audience can participate and follow your broadcast or follow your future publications, so that they can in fact refer to other similar group of segment of people. So at the end, a social media platform or social media profile actually need to have influence towards the public. So that is the purpose of the social media platform. So being a social media person, if you have your Facebook page, then whatever you say in the Facebook page, you need to have the influence to the people who follows you. So that means that you have to have specific as well as long-term strategy to gather your energy towards this area of value-added service. So being maybe a car dealer, then you must be able to maybe specialize in a certain types of segment of market, and then these people who follows you would have a good repetition of what you have in line for added value for them. Therefore, they would continue visiting your profile and then gather together, and the effect of it will be more influence to the actual result, which is at the end revenue for your whatever business or whatever types of service. So at the end, there's only one and only thing that you need to do with social media marketing, that is to create an influence on the followers, on the people. So that is as I said in the earlier slide, has to come from, or it comes from the root of your tactic and your strategy in designing the content, and the content has to be distinct and also a value adding to the public, so that the segment of the market you target would want to visit your site or visit your profile to gather information for their eventual benefit. Right, so social media marketing aim at creating influence, and then the influence at the end would hopefully result in sales or in terms of revenue. Anyway, the basics are actually quite simple. Social media marketing, in fact, talk about the interaction, engagement with your audience, and then talk about the types of media that is used. Usually is under the electronic platform, or in terms of Facebook would be website, internet, and also types of newer electronic modes of propagating the information. And also you need to have still the content and the strategy like a conventional marketing agency. So the part of it is that it is now in a way different from the earlier days, because you do not need to have a factory or a printer company to print your brochure and also the print your leaflet or newspaper. So it becomes very fast and very easy with the digital method of broadcasting your materials through the internet. So printing out e-flyers, printing out e-brochures from the computer is actually very cost effective way of promoting your activity of a business into website and also social media platforms. So now social media becomes a individual choice, and every one of us become a single participant in the social media market. So in a way, everyone is a product, or profile is a product to promote yourself into a social circle of influence, so that people would follow your maybe you are good in singing, or you are good in certain types of talent, then people will come in and follow what you do, and therefore through that you have you are able to generate business for your types of work or types of talent. Right, so individualized way of doing internet now becomes the breakthrough for social media to help individual to achieve in quite a humongous dream of even making very rich. So there are a lot of these singers and also home performers that has made into millions of followers. So it is now possible with the mobile phone. The biggest change which has bring forward the technology to everybody's control. So everyone can choose to view whichever social media profile or personal information of a person, and in fact it actually overcomes certain barriers for technology to help getting rid of all the new way of streaming or video streaming into everybody's home. So it actually replaced the mainstream media like TV or cinema in the old days, where they promote or they put advertisement. Now advertisement is at your fingertips. It goes to your handphone and you click on the advertisement, then therefore you are being sold the particular product. And the real copy prints like magazine and the paper prints would be very much in a way replaced by this online system. Right, the social interaction and engagement part, usually we would say that the best example would be Facebook lah. So it gather feedbacks by having likes and follow. And then the media, like for example platform like electronic platform of video, you would have the YouTube, which is the main one where people would go forward and do video presentation, and then this video presentation will be broadcast to all the followers. Similarly, for strategy and marketing, so there can be a way about giving special deals, and then also coupons and also subscriptions for followers and members of a particular group. So in this way, it can entice people to stay on in that group. So in that sense, become more achievable in the influencing the market, because there are segments of market whereby this particular group of people would be eventual purchaser or the buyer of the certain line of service or product. So the mechanism, in fact, is understood as in a few of the following. That is the share. If you have seen some talented person performance, you may share in your social media. So this is a multiplier effect. So as more and more shares being given to this particular performer, this performer becomes widely known, and therefore it has a reach of a bigger segment than the original smaller group of people. So through sharing, this social media in fact amplify the effect of one group of people to another group of eventual followers. So in fact, there is a saying that if you can get about 20 people to follow you in your first level of share, then you would have achieved more than a big amount of followers. So they will propagate to more than what you actually can achieve on your own. Second is the comment. So the social media effect on a particular product or service is basically on the comment part. Of course, the share brings the information to the far reach people, but then the comment will be the rating effect of this particular talent or the particular product. So social media would in fact rely on a lot of this third-party comment. So of course, the way that we see Facebook is a lot of comments saying bad things about certain politician or something against the so-called moral standing. So therefore, this comment would in a way engage a lot of audience who shares the same feeling. So this means to say the effect will be seen as a ripple outwards towards a bigger group of audience. And thirdly, there is the like mechanism. So share is you share out the particular writing or share out the particular event, whereas the like means that there is a lot of people who actually seen your performance or seen your posting. So therefore, this rating effect through the likes can be used similar like comment to actually reinforce that the particular strategy of the social propagation of certain ideology is actually being accepted or not. So of course, if you have more likes then a lot of view, a lot of comment, that means the effect of your social media strategy is correct. And then lastly, the more recent one is the stories. So nowadays you can see Facebook coming out with stories so that you can actually put certain amount of emphasis on a group of postings. So of course this is a bit like a line extension. So in the initial time when you are doing posting, then you emphasize it with a lot of picture, and then next you emphasize it with a lot of video. Then now you have another way of doing it is by giving up a story. So a story may be from 10 of the posting, you select one which is what you want to feature. So the stories in fact will be much featured because it appears on the top of the page. But assumption for the good social reach is that you must have good strategy to instead of single out yourself from others. Then next is that you need to have good content. I mean, good strategy and also good content comes together. So if you don't have the good content, definitely you likely have a wrong strategy. And then you need to also have the engagement so that you do not have something which is so specific, like for example quantum mechanics, and then you're expecting the mass public to understand quantum mechanics, so quantum physics or quantum mechanics. So therefore something which is engaging must be quite common, not social stigma or religious bias or political group only. Then therefore most of the engagement that you get is short-term engagement. How to keep the short-term engagement become long-term is in fact back to again your content and your strategy lah. So fourth is actually more of a referral. So the referral means to say that the strategy and the content are actually able to emphasize a particular social profile, and then the social profile engages with the first line users and the first line followers, and therefore the second line, which are the referrals. So this means that some people of the same thinking may propagate your social profile forward to another group or newer group of similar frequency segments. However, there are some pitfalls from my own understanding and also my own experiences with Facebook over the last 4 or 5 years, and using Facebook to promote estateagentexam.com and also some property listing platforms. Usually the main problem is that we are blur. Generally we are not focused. So a lot of time you see social media, a lot of time people are not focused on what they do. So they can appear doing A and then later on appear doing B. So the person's profile is not contrast, it's not distinct from the rest. So it becomes a me too. So this is a bit of a disturbances that a lot of time we cannot get the social media to go to the next level. Then there's also other reasons like no consistency, no continuity. So it's important to keep on so-called getting the attention by giving more in-depth further information. And then again, at the end, it is your content, whether there is any value adding elements, and also a unique way of doing your talent or your specialty. Right, solution to smart social media marketing. This is important for us because we are doing it every day now, as using Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. So there are things that we should do and always do as a basic. You must also look into ever-changing needs, of course, in the market, and then competition of that in the market. So to be able to do the following four is important. One is to develop your product proposition. That means you really have a distinct product that you are able to add value, rather than doing something that a lot of people are doing. Therefore, it makes your profile in fact similar me too to others, and then your position in doing it. So if you're clear with your position, your product advantages and features, then you are able to stand out among others. And then at the end, it is not about just money and maybe getting more followers, but there should be a higher level of calling for you to do this. So why are you doing this? So for this example, I would want to highlight what I have been trying to do. That is the estateagentexam.com. The reason to stand out is because I want to do e-learning as a solution to this particular examination, whereby I want to help those who are not able to go and attend classes in KL or Klang Valley or in big cities in West Malaysia, to have an option to study online for a purpose of getting the diploma in estate agency exam. So this is something why I do it, and then why I keep on pushing on, although they may be at the moment not very well received because of a lot of other reasons, not to be carried more conversation here, but then to emphasize that there is a reason for a purpose of a social platform. So therefore this must be a very strong passion to continue doing it, and then to be able to stand on your own. So lastly is that if you could do this, then you will be different from others, and if you are different from others, then your profile will be distinct from the others in terms of being accepted or not. Then it depends on the segment of audience. There are two reasons that social media platform may be successful eventually or not. These are my own personal feeling lah. Why it is better than existing solutions. Try to answer this particular two reason. A lot of people go into social media trying to do something which is actually repetitive for others, something which others already have or have been. There is something else has been substitute to this particular social platform for similar products. So the question to ask is that, is there anything less by not having you around? So if there is something less that you are not around because the social media seems to have lost something, then there is a reason for you to be successful in the social media, because you are distinct. And then the second is that, what is it for me? What is in it for me? So because people going for social media basically need to get something. What it means to say is free information, or they feel happier to read, or they are able to be entertained. So there should be something which a person who choose to follow this profile, there is something beneficial to him. Only then he will keep on going forward, and then listen or click or like or share or whatever on the social media platform. So these are the two reasons that social media success would very much depend on. That is number one. I repeat, is there anything less by not having you around? So if there is something significantly important about you being around, then you will be successful. Second, being around is one, but then being able to satisfy the need of the person who follows. So if a person following you feel that there is nothing there for him or her, then he will not follow you for long. So therefore there is nothing for him, he would maybe eventually not visit the site or visit the profile. So there are tools that you can use to reach others. In fact, there are many which are already being commonly seen. One is using WhatsApp, Telegram, reaching out to others. Although it is not Facebook or not website, these are actually social media tools. Of course, a landing page website is one which I use a lot. Website. Blasting, I am starting to use blasting, e-blasting or SMS blasting, using the enterprise blasting, enterprise messaging system. And then email campaign. I don't think email campaign will be successful anymore, because people tend not to read email when they are in the free time, because they are not working. So email becomes an issue of work, because people go to office, people open email, it means work to them. So social media should be aware less on the email. So websites integration may be no way out, but because website integration, using email is the usual way people sign into a subscription. So reaching out using email may still be the main system of how subscription is recognized. But still, email would not be a good way to do social media marketing. YouTube basically is for people who can sit down and listen, or in fact just to listen to the YouTube activities, but not watching the video. So how do you make YouTube as an integral part of the social media marketing? Because it is about action, about images in movement, moving image, like some sort of individual person's performance. So you need to have a good way of making it attractive. So a lot of time it is about talent and also a particular skill. So for YouTube, it is definitely a higher level, and for people who are in specialized area. For example, in terms of singing or performance, or in terms of special skill like certain games, or even in a certain way of cooking. So that is usually the mode to use for YouTube you probably won't be reading storybook on YouTube lah, because people won't be interested to listen on the YouTube, looking at the YouTube one person holding a book and read lah. But then YouTube is no doubt a way of making things short and sweet in a span of time. So what is next for social media marketing is going to be more individualized. So in fact, social media is very individualized even now. So like a person who can sing very well, you attract the followers who really like his personal style of singing. In fact, he only probably gather a few people who follows him, and then later on people keep on liking the same style of singing will follow him. Next is becoming more interactive, so you can actually go and talk to your this singer, particular actor or singer, because she or he is just able to see you on an individual handphone or laptop, not like before. You can't reach the singer or the performer unless you go through his manager. So now it is in fact very interactive. You can in fact speak to the person directly, and more integration with gadgets and also the platforms. You mean to say tomorrow he can sing some songs which suit to your personal needs. So it becomes very tailor-made and very individualized. So the timeline in design and implementation of your social media platform is you need really to come up with your core competence, and then to in fact look at how your performance or your talent would have competitors in the market, and then later on really zoom into your area of expertise that you do and others cannot do or doesn't want to do or has not done so. So in that sense it becomes something which it stands out, and therefore you can have a good content and add value to attract more followers and eventual time more referrals to your media. So usually you try and error for a while, like probably 6 to 1 year, and after that you can know exactly what you want to do and shoot on more of the same purpose. Thank you very much for this presentation. Hopefully it means something to the listener here. Thank you for visiting my site. Thank you.